Houston, you're...
We're getting in the chopper. You can...
Colonel, this is Viper 1 standing by.
Copy. But... this toxic... This is Forrester.
Topside, Colonel. Watch your sig.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into The Tomorrow War, a film that asks, what if a global crisis interrupted your barbecue? And also, it involved time-traveling aliens. We start in 2022, a time of peak global unity during the World Cup. Dan Forrester, our protagonist, is struggling to land his dream job while his family watches the game. The vibe is perfectly normal, almost idyllic. Then, with a visual pop that's probably terrible for anyone's cardiac health, a portal rips open right in the middle of the soccer field. Soldiers from the future, looking less like they just won a war and more like they just barely survived one, spill out. And just like that, humanity's biggest sporting event becomes humanity's biggest existential dreadfest. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not.
Take the corner!
I got the entrance covered. No timers. No. Save your daughter. I go left, you go right. You got this. Uh-oh. Charlie! Dad! Light him up! Dad! He just sliced it up like... Oh, shit. That's the beam. Fine. No, you're gonna be a liability on that.
In the horizon. I got tracks here.
Where the hell is she? You stuck her though, you got
bullet goes in thing and everybody sucked out.
Okay, guys, flight.
We'll gain a good...
For an ice cube.
Ahead, watch your visibility.
Yeah. No. Magnetic field or something?
Degree is the difference between ice and...
It's not a drill! Soldiers
not ready for any kind of deployment. We don't even know where we're going.
The research facility is... The Just Link will drop you. Weapons up.
Take that.
How you know how to do all this stuff, man?
Kind of a short story, I guess. Miami Beach!
1. Launch. Lieutenant, something's wrong with that.
Glad Will Smith isn't alive.
What the hell went wrong? Romeo out. Identify yourself.
I'm
Up. I got imagery up of your to clean it.
clean it?
Up left. Now, now on a rescue mission.
Copy that command. Listen, everybody. I need every able-bodied person on this. Okay, we need someone. You guys hustle up.
No aliens.
Copy that. Is there anyone left here? Guys, situational awareness. I'm just trying to keep them alive, man. I could really use your help. And you try to...
Yes. Lab on 7.
Copy that.
So be careful.
Is that one of them?
Yes.
So you need to move fast.
Here, all data, all hard drives, everything.
Those blue ampules from Lab 2.
See something. Spikes.
Well, duh. 12, Dan, I need all of them. Extraction team, we need to get them out of there right now.
On the laboratory at the 7th floor, you understand?
Bombs are gonna drop in 6 minutes and there's nothing.
Farewell.
We're copy that. Contact the board!
Oh shit!
You heard the Colonel. We need transport now. Let's.
Left at the next intersection, you got white spikes close. Okay, but you need to stay away from areas with red.
Contact acquired.
Get the hell out of there right now.
Location, Bravo 268 again. 115, Bravo 28, on site.
Working on it.
Final approach, 450.
Get out of there. We got this! One day they were just here. Did somewhere remote, avoided all settlements in South America, Australia. prisoners or government, technology. Yeah, last time I saw you was the day that you... How did you die?
What happened to me?
That's what we say to each other, the better.
Ranger Team 1, Viper 5. Get her! Fire team, but she's feeling it. We could use it.
Put yourself in danger. That's not what I asked you to do.
Sorry.
To be you. I believed in you when...
What? What happened? Bullshit. Fact, I would never leave you.
Forced with your life. Call from the hospital. I heard your last heartbeat on them, and they pushed me away. And I wanted you to walk away.
So the future soldiers drop a bombshell. In 30 years, humanity is losing a war against monstrous aliens called white spikes. Like, utterly failing. Their solution? Draft people from the past to fight in the future. Because, apparently, future resources are so scarce they can't even produce enough actual soldiers. Classic future people, right? Always borrowing from the past. Dan, still trying to process his life choices, watches the news reports detailing the dire situation. The draft is mandatory, a legal obligation, with wristbands that glow ominously. Because nothing says welcome to your new future like a piece of high-tech jewelry you didn't ask for. Dan, a former Green Beret who left service to focus on family, definitely doesn't want to go. He even tries to argue his way out, citing his past service and current family man status. But the government's got its own agenda. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the universe has a very inconvenient way of telling you that your plans are cute, but ultimately irrelevant. The ticking clock on his wrist seals his fate, along with millions of others across the globe. You can practically hear the collective sigh of a planet realizing, my couch, my snacks, and my sanity are about to be traded for futuristic war, screaming in certain doom. Now, before being hurled into a war 30 years hence, these folks get a crash course in future survival, mostly consisting of don't die immediately. They're introduced to the concept of the jump link, a fancy term for a time machine that can only send you forward. Backward travel? Nope, too complicated. Plus paradox, am I right? It's like future tech has a one-way trip setting firmly stuck on. Dan connects with fellow draftees, including the hilariously awkward science teacher, Charlie, who's probably more used to dissecting frogs than fending off alien monstrosities. There's a palpable mix of fear and gallows humor among the recruits. The training montage, complete with frantic weapon handling and evasive maneuvers, is a whirlwind of information overload. They learn that the white spikes are incredibly fast, resilient, and utterly vicious. Basically, the universe's least friendly neighbors. The pressure is immense. One mistake. And you're not just failing a test, you're becoming alien chow. The constant hum of the training facility, mixed with the frantic shouts of instructors and the clatter of weaponry, paints a grim picture of what awaits. It's less a boot camp and more a fast track to potentially becoming Alien Food Academy. What a sales pitch, huh? The moment arrives. One final hug with his daughter Muri, then Dan steps onto the jump-link platform. There's a blinding flash, a disorienting whoosh of temporal displacement, and then, boom, they're not exactly in Kansas anymore. Or rather, they are in Miami, but it's Miami after a very aggressive architectural rebrand, courtesy of the white spikes. Buildings are gutted, vehicles are burnt-out husks, and the air is thick with smoke and the metallic tang of decay. It's like a post-apocalyptic resort town, only without the resorts. Or the town, really. The jump itself is rough, a gut-wrenching experience that leaves them disoriented. The future soldiers who greet them are frantic, shouting orders that are barely intelligible over the cacophony of a city under siege. It becomes immediately clear that their arrival was not smooth, and definitely not where they were supposed to be. They've landed not in a safe drop zone, but directly atop a crumbling skyscraper high above the chaos. The wind whistles through gaping holes in the building, carrying the faint, unsettling sounds of battle from below. It's a rude awakening, a sensory overload that screams, "Welcome to the future, you're already behind schedule and probably going to die." Before they can even properly orient themselves, the white spikes make their grand entrance. From the shadows of the ruined buildings, these creatures, all sharp claws, razor teeth, and blinding speed, scuttle into view. They're nightmare fuel personified, with multiple limbs and a chitinous armor that seems to absorb bullets. The first encounter is pure, unadulterated chaos. The crackle of automatic rifle fire mixes with the guttural shrieks of the aliens and the desperate cries of the soldiers. It's a symphony of survival. The draftees, including Dan, are thrown straight into a brutal baptism by fire. Many don't make it. The sheer, overwhelming force of the white spikes is terrifying. They swarm, they slash, they tear. It's less a fight and more a desperate scramble for survival, highlighted by the sickening squelch of alien flesh being torn or the hollow thud of a soldier hitting the ground. Dan, drawing on his past training, quickly adapts, but the sheer volume and ferocity of the white spikes are unlike anything he's ever faced. He's forced to make split-second decisions, dodging vicious swipes and firing off desperate bursts of energy weapons. This isn't basic training anymore. This is the final exam, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The city itself groans under the weight of the conflict, debris clattering and dust swirling with every explosion, barely surviving the rooftop onslaught. Dan and the handful of remaining draftees are led to a precarious, makeshift command center. Amidst the grim faces and hurried orders, Dan spots someone familiar yet utterly changed. It's his daughter Muri, now a stern, battle-hardened colonel, leading the resistance. The shock hits him like a physical blow. His little girl, all grown up and commanding a war? Talk about an unexpected family reunion. Their initial interaction is terse, professional, with Muri maintaining a cold distance, unaware of their paternal connection. Dan's heart pounds with a mix of pride, fear, and utter disbelief. He tries to connect with her, but she's all business, her voice sharp and authoritative over the radio, barking commands. The irony of the situation is thick. He jumped 30 years into the future to save his daughter's generation, only to find his daughter leading the fight. It's a twist that adds a whole new layer of emotional weight to the already suffocating desperation of the war. He observes her every gesture precise, her eyes scanning holographic maps with an intensity he recognizes. It's him, but in a uniform, with more scars and a much, much higher security clearance. Muri, still oblivious to their true relationship, lays out the grim reality of the war. These aren't just random aliens. They're an organized, intelligent hive mind, all controlled by a single, gargantuan white spike queen. Muri shows him a holographic rendering of this monstrosity. Think a regular white spike, but dialed up to eldritch horror levels. The queen is the key, the brain of the operation, protected by an army of drones. The sheer scale of the creature is daunting, its multi-limbed form casting a long, terrifying shadow, even in digital form. The mission is clear. They need a live female white spike to extract a specific toxin from. This toxin is the only thing capable of killing the Queen and, by extension, the entire invading force. The urgency in Muri's voice is palpable, each word a hammer blow of desperate hope. The entire future of humanity hinges on this one incredibly dangerous task. It's less a strategic briefing and more a "here's why you're probably going to die" lecture. The heavy hum of the data projections and the hushed tones of the other soldiers underscore the gravity of their desperate gambit. With the plan set, Dan, Muri, and a small specialized squad embark on their perilous mission. Their target, a dilapidated research facility now overrun by white spikes. The infiltration involves a high-stakes rappel down crumbling structures, each scrape of metal against concrete a potential giveaway. It's a tense, hushed operation, with every creak and distant clatter amplifying the danger. The air inside the facility is thick with dust and the musky scent of alien presence. They move through claustrophobic corridors, their footsteps muffled, their breaths held. This is where Dan truly sees Muri in action, her leadership sharp and decisive, her movements economical and efficient. He's trying to reconcile the fierce warrior with the little girl he left behind. The objective is to retrieve a sample that could lead to a breakthrough, but the facility is a maze of alien nests and ambush points. The constant skittering sounds in the ventilation shafts and the unsettling growls from unseen corners make every step a gamble. It's like a very deadly game of hide and seek, where it can rip you to shreds. The sample is secured, but as always, getting out is harder than getting in. The white spikes are now aware of their presence, swarming from every shadow. The facility erupts into a violent ballet of gunfire, alien screeches, and explosions. Dan and Muri fight back to back, their movements synchronized, a grim understanding passing between them and the chaos. The crack of energy weapons and the visceral rip of alien claws fill the air. Muri reveals her secondary plan. The white spikes they thought they were fighting were just drones, and the real ones, the truly dangerous ones, weren't in this facility at all. They escape in a heavily armored vehicle, speeding away as the facility collapses and explodes behind them in a fiery crescendo. The rumble of the explosion is so intense it's felt deep in their chests. It's a close call, a desperate sprint to safety, confirming that the future is just a series of escalatingly bad ideas. The plan to capture a female white spike has failed, forcing Muri to reveal an even more audacious and frankly insane alternative. It's almost comical how often Plan B involves a significantly higher chance of death. Back in a moment of relative calm, Muri finally drops the real bombshell. The white spikes didn't just arrive in 2051 from some distant galaxy. Oh no, that would be too simple. They've been here all along, frozen in the ice of the northern hemisphere, dormant within a crashed alien scout ship. A truly ancient vessel, a remnant of another species, a Draxian ship that essentially served as a prison or transport for these creatures. Humanity, in its infinite wisdom, accidentally thawed them out. Oops. The chilling implications of this revelation hang heavy in the air. This isn't an invasion. It's an awakening. Muri's new plan is audacious, dangerous, and probably suicidal. They're going to the source, to the crashed ship itself. They'll retrieve a queen from its original icy slumber, extract the toxin, and end the war before it truly begins. The sheer audacity of it is breathtaking, a last-ditch effort born of pure desperation. It's like finding out the monster under your bed has actually been in your attic for centuries, and you just woke it up by installing a new AC unit. This unexpected twist in the white spike's origin fundamentally shifts the entire understanding of the war, making it less about defending against an external threat and more about fixing a colossal, self-inflicted cosmic mistake. The world building here really shines, adding a layer of tragic irony to the unfolding disaster. The journey to the crashed Draxian ship is brutal. They travel through desolate, snow-covered landscapes, the biting wind whipping at their faces, and the constant crunch of snow underfoot, a stark reminder of their isolation. It's a visual metaphor for the cold, unforgiving nature of their mission. Their small team, comprised of hardened soldiers and Dan's perpetually surprised science teacher buddy Charlie, pushes through exhaustion. The stakes are impossibly high, and the silence of the frozen wilderness is broken only by the hum of their transport and the occasional crackle of static from their comms. Every shadow seems to hold a threat, every distant howl of the wind an imagined alien shriek. Dan continues to observe Muri, a silent respect growing for the woman she's become, even as he grapples with the realization that he essentially failed her in his own timeline. The weight of future history rests on their shoulders, a burden made heavier by the personal connection Dan now feels to the cause. It's a journey not just across physical space, but across timelines, to rectify a mistake that hasn't even happened yet, but already cost humanity so much. It's like going on a very chilly, very dangerous camping trip. But instead of marshmallows, you're looking for alien queens. Upon reaching the colossal, ice-entombed structure, they breach its ancient hull. The interior of the Draxian ship is a masterpiece of otherworldly design, vast and eerily silent, bathed in an alien blue glow. It's clear this isn't just a transport. It's an entire ecosystem, a biological prison. And inside, hundreds, perhaps thousands of white spikes lie dormant like grotesque statues waiting. The air is cold, still, and thick with the scent of something ancient and terrible. Dan and Muri move with grim determination, navigating the alien architecture, their footsteps echoing softly in the cavernous space. This is the heart of the problem, the genesis of their nightmare. Muri reveals the creatures are not native to this ship. They were simply being transported, perhaps as biological weapons, or even just dangerous cargo. The hissing of their own breathing equipment seems deafening in the profound quiet. The sheer number of dormant white spikes is horrifying, a testament to the scale of the threat humanity accidentally unleashed. It's a profound, terrifying moment of world building, where the mystery of the enemy is fully unveiled, and the realization hits. This war wasn't inevitable. It was a consequence of a dormant disaster. It's like finding a box labeled "Do Not Open," only to realize you already did, centuries ago. They finally locate the Queen, a truly gargantuan beast nestled amidst her dormant brethren. She's enormous, an unimaginable horror, her movements slow but deliberate as she becomes aware of their presence. The mission? Extract the toxin from her. This is a delicate and incredibly dangerous procedure, requiring them to get uncomfortably close to the source of all their problems. The air crackles with tension as they set up their equipment, the metallic whir of their tools, a stark contrast to the organic alien mass before them. Muri, ever the strategist, guides the operation, her voice firm despite the immense pressure. Dan acts as her protector, his weapon always at the ready, his eyes scanning for any sign of awakening drones. The process is fraught with peril, the Queen's massive body occasionally twitching, threatening to awaken and unleash her entire army. It's a race against time, with the fate of two timelines hanging in the balance. The sheer scale of the operation underscores the desperation. They're essentially performing delicate surgery on a living, breathing, planet-ending monster. Talk about a job description that needs a serious rewrite. The whole environment thrums with an unsettling energy, the massive creature a silent, brooding threat. It's like trying to get a splinter out of a dragon that's only mostly asleep. Disaster strikes. The white spikes begin to awaken, their slumber broken. The cavernous ship erupts into a cacophony of alien shrieks and the clatter of chitinous limbs. Muri, in the frantic scramble, is gravely injured, a devastating blow that leaves her bleeding and weakening. But even facing her end, her resolve is unbreakable. She successfully extracts the toxin, a vial shimmering with grim hope. Knowing her wounds are fatal, and that someone must get the cure back, she makes the ultimate sacrifice. With her last ounce of strength, she pushes Dan into the jump link portal, a tearful, resolute smile on her face. The portal whooshes open, sucking Dan away, leaving Muri to face the awakening horde alone. It's a gut-wrenching moment, the raw emotion of a father losing his daughter, even if she's from a future that may now be erased. Her final whispered words confirm that she knew this was her destiny, a future she couldn't escape, even by trying to change it. The bittersweet tang of success mixed with profound loss hangs heavy in the narrative. Dan's screams are swallowed by the temporal displacement, a desperate cry against a fate he couldn't prevent. It's the kind of moment that makes you think, well, that's just unfair, isn't it? Dan crashes back into 2022, the world still oblivious to the horrors he's just witnessed. He's alive, but shattered, clutching the precious toxin vial. The irony is excruciating. He's back in a world where the future war hasn't even begun, but the trauma of it is etched into his very soul. The immediate challenge is convincing anyone that an alien war is coming, let alone that it originated from an ancient crash site in the Arctic. He's now a man haunted by a future that no longer exists, but still very much feels real. The weight of his experience, the phantom sound of Muri's last breath is crushing. The news reports still drone on about the imminent alien invasion starting in 2051, completely missing the point. Dan realizes he has a chance to prevent it all, to save his daughter, to save everyone, by stopping the white spikes before they ever become a problem. It's a mission that, paradoxically, only he can undertake, armed with knowledge from a future that was, but now shouldn't be. The transition from chaotic future battle to serene suburban home is jarring, a brutal contrast that highlights the surreal nature of his journey. He's literally holding the fate of humanity in a tiny vial, and nobody has a clue. Standard Tuesday, really. To find an ancient alien crash site in the Arctic, Dan knows he can't do it alone. He turns to the one person he always had a complicated relationship with, his estranged father, James. James is a brilliant, albeit eccentric, scientist and survivalist, living off the grid, forever prepared for the next big thing the government is hiding. The reunion is, predictably, awkward. Their past emotional baggage hangs thick in the air, a silent thrum of unresolved issues. But Dan cuts through it with the unarguable truth, the vial of alien toxin, the stories of a war that hasn't happened yet. James, initially skeptical, sees the evidence, feels the weight of the desperate plea. It's a beautifully quiet moment where years of resentment melt away in the face of a global existential crisis. Who knew alien invasions were such good family therapy? James's vast knowledge of fringe science and his network of equally eccentric contacts make him the perfect, if unconventional, ally. It's a poignant turn, as the very man Dan once resented for his crazy beliefs now becomes his most crucial partner in saving the world. The shift from personal animosity to shared purpose is deftly handled, showing that some wounds can indeed be healed, especially when there are literal world-ending aliens involved. With James on board, a small ragtag team is assembled. This includes Charlie, the surprisingly resilient science teacher who, after his future experiences, probably feels right at home with impending doom. They embark on a perilous journey to the Arctic, the vast, unforgiving expanse stretching endlessly beneath their transport. The biting cold is constant, the howl of the wind through the aircraft's frame a constant companion. It's a race against time, not just against the elements, but against the very future. They meticulously use scientific data and Dan's fuzzy memories of Muri's briefings to pinpoint the approximate location of the crash site. The beauty of the pristine, untouched ice landscape is chillingly contrasted with the horrific secret it holds beneath. This team, a blend of past and future knowledge, of military training and scientific acumen, represents humanity's last best hope. The camaraderie is forged under immense pressure, a quiet determination settling among them. It's essentially the most important and freezing road trip in human history, but with significantly more alien monsters at the destination. The air within the transport is thick with anticipation and the metallic tang of fear, each bump and creak a reminder of their perilous journey. After days of arduous searching, scanning the desolate icy plains, they finally find it. A colossal structure, partially exposed from beneath the ice, clearly not of this world. It's the Draxian scout ship, just as Muri described. The sheer scale of it, even partially buried, is breathtaking and terrifying. It stands as a silent, ancient testament to an alien presence on Earth, waiting to be unleashed. The air around the ship feels different, a subtle hum of dormant power emanating from its frosty, metallic shell. The discovery confirms everything Dan had witnessed, solidifying the horrifying reality that the white spikes were indeed an ancient, accidental threat. James, with his lifetime of searching for hidden truths, is both awed and validated. The team prepares for the most dangerous phase, breaching the ship. The wind whistles around the alien structure, carrying the eerie sense of foreboding. It's a magnificent, terrifying sight, a frozen relic that holds the key to humanity's salvation, or its complete obliteration. It's like finding Atlantis, but instead of mermaids, it's full of razor-toothed monsters. Fun. With the discovery made, the next step is to get inside. They meticulously place explosives, the rhythmic clink of tools against ice echoing in the vast, cold emptiness. Then, with a concussive boom that reverberates across the frozen landscape, they breach the alien hull. Smoke billows from the new opening, revealing a dark, ominous interior. Inside, The ship is just as otherworldly and disturbing as Dan remembered from the future. Dormant white spikes are everywhere, frozen in grotesque poses, like terrifying sculptures. The team moves carefully, their flashlights cutting through the gloom, illuminating the alien architecture and the inert forms of their enemies. The air is frigid and still, but there's an underlying tension, a prickle on the skin that warns of danger. Every shadow seems to hide a waking monster, every creak of the ancient ship a premonition. James, utterly fascinated, immediately starts analyzing the alien tech, his scientific curiosity overriding his fear. It's a race against the inevitable. To find the Queen and deliver the toxin before the entire hive awakens. The rhythmic drip of melting ice from the ceiling adds to the unsettling atmosphere, a natural clock counting down to their inevitable confrontation. Of course, their presence doesn't go unnoticed for long. The delicate balance of the dormant hive is disturbed, and one by one, with sickening cracks of ice and grotesque squelches of thawing flesh, the white spikes begin to awaken. The silence of the ship shatters into a symphony of alien shrieks and the rapid scurrying of hundreds of creatures. It's pure pandemonium. The team, trapped in the confines of the alien vessel, is immediately thrust into a desperate firefight. Laser fire sizzles, bullets thump against alien armor, and the air fills with the metallic tang of blood and ozone. Dan and James, fighting side by side, realize the magnitude of the threat. These aren't just a few stragglers. It's an entire army, fresh from an extended nap. Charlie, surprisingly effective with a weapon, adds his own brand of frantic, smart aleck commentary to the fight. The tight corridors and alien structures make for a claustrophobic battleground, where every turn could mean a deadly ambush. The sheer ferocity of the white spikes, now fully awake, is overwhelming, their speed and strength a constant, terrifying challenge. It's like a very deadly game of whack-a-mole, except the moles have claws and want to eat your face. The ground rumbles with their charge, a horrifying, accelerating wave of death. Pushing through hordes of relentless white spikes, Dan and James finally reach the monstrous Queen. She's awake now, a colossal, terrifying force of nature, radiating malevolence. This is it, the final confrontation. The entire future, and indeed the present, hinges on this moment. The surrounding drones are a frenzied shield, determined to protect their matriarch. It's a brutal, close-quarters battle, the snarls of the Queen and the crack of her massive limbs adding to the terrifying orchestra of destruction. Dan, drawing on every ounce of his military training and the painful memory of Muri's sacrifice, fights with desperate ferocity. James, using his scientific ingenuity, helps create openings, deploying makeshift traps and distractions. The plan is simple, yet agonizingly difficult. Inject the toxin directly into the Queen. The soundscape is a violent symphony. The wet splat of alien blood, the clatter of falling debris, the desperate grunts of the heroes, and the earth-shaking roar of the Queen. It's a titanic struggle, a testament to human will against an incomprehensible alien threat. They are battered, bruised, and nearly overwhelmed, but the thought of a saved future, of Muri's survival, fuels their last stand. This isn't just a fight for survival. It's a fight for a tomorrow that might never have been. And spoiler alert, it gets really messy. Lots of alien guts. Like, a lot. Finally, after a desperate, claw-scratching, laser-blasting struggle, Dan manages to plunge the toxin vial into the Queen. Her massive body convulses, an unearthly shriek ripping through the ship as the poison takes hold. The effect is immediate and devastating. The Queen's powerful life force drains, and in a domino effect, all the other white spikes collapse, their terrifying forms going still, inert. The terrifying scurrying sounds cease, replaced by an eerie, profound silence. Humanity is saved. The war that was destined to decimate the future has been averted in the past. Exhausted, battered, but triumphant, Dan and James share a look, a silent understanding passing between them. Years of unspoken tension and regret dissolve in that moment of shared victory. A father and son, finally reunited by the most extreme circumstances imaginable. It's a beautiful, understated reconciliation, a quiet echo after the deafening roar of battle. They've not only saved the world, but also healed a broken family. The future is no longer a guaranteed nightmare. It's an open book, a canvas waiting to be repainted. The relief is palpable, a heavy weight lifted from their shoulders. Even Charlie manages a relieved, slightly hysterical chuckle. Mission accomplished, The world is safe, and maybe, just maybe, Dan can finally get that job. Back home, the world continues, blissfully unaware of the cataclysm they almost faced. Dan looks at his daughter, Muri, now safe and sound, a child innocent of the war her future self fought. The future he witnessed is gone, replaced by a hopeful unknown. It's a poignant reminder that while we can't always control the challenges life throws our way, we often have the power to change our narrative, to rewrite our destiny. The film leaves us with the powerful message that the most meaningful battles aren't just for survival, but for the chance at a better tomorrow for those we love. Sometimes the most heroic act is simply ensuring a future where ordinary moments can thrive. It's a story about sacrifice, family, and the enduring human spirit, proving that even against intergalactic threats, a father's love can literally move mountains, or in this case, frozen alien ships. Thanks for watching, and remember, always check your attic for ancient alien cargo. You never know.
You tell it to die?
Images coming out of Russia today.
That's right.
As soon as I heard that the white spy was a future alien threat.
Yeah, what's your grandpa? Together in our hell in a few. I'm never gonna leave her.